Good morning, Kate. Nice to meet you. Name this is Martin. I believe you're the president of the ARRL. I've been meaning to catch up with you for a long time. All of us three here today are members of the ARRL, although we're UK members. Wonder if you can tell us what's going on at the show and what the ARRL are currently up to.
Okay, well, it's very nice to meet you, Martin, and thank you and all your crew for being members of the ARRL. We very much appreciate all the international radio amateurs who decide to become members of the ARRL, although, of course, we also encourage everyone to join your own national amateur radio society, because it's very important for us to have strong radio societies all over the world. We are here at the ham radio, and principally what we're doing here is signing up new members, renewing existing memberships. We're also checking DXCC applications, and it's not so busy today at the DXCC table over here. Yesterday they were working like madmen to check people's cards. So those are the two principal things that we do here. The other thing that we do, and why I'm here, because I don't check DXCC cards, is to have a chance to chat with the leaders of other national amateur radio societies. I've just been around the room shaking hands with the officials from other societies and thanking them for what they do, and it's nice to have a handshake and a little chat with other societies' leaders.
I mean, we're really pleased to get you, because obviously you're a very important person, and I know that you're going to be dragged from pillar to post. So it's nice to actually get to talk to somebody at the top. I've always had the impression you're a very nice lady. Haven't met you. Everything is right about you. So thank you very much for giving us it. But now, what are the ARRL doing specifically? Anything new happening?
Yes, something very exciting is happening. Without going into too much gruesome detail, there are two kinds of land use regulation in the United States. One is done by governmental entities, cities, towns, and the antenna restrictions, the prohibitions on antennas by those governmental entities was ruled out by our regulator, the FCC, 30 years ago.
Right.
But there's another kind of land use regulation, which are private land use regulations, and government has no say in those. They're part of the contract when you purchase a home. And these restrictions often prohibit antennas of any kind, and they're becoming more and more common in the States, to the point that if we don't do something about it very soon, it's going to have a chilling effect on the future of amateur radio, both our ability to do disaster communications and also to welcome young people into amateur radio. If they get interested in amateur radio and they go home and their parents say, oh, so sorry, we're not allowed to have an antenna, so you can't be a radio amateur. This is not good for the future of amateur radio, or for those young people, as a matter of fact. So this, in the last year, we've been working in Congress to get legislation enacted that would instruct our regulator, the FCC, to allow the same kind of reasonable accommodation, just a fair chance, to people who have private land use regulations on their properties. It's not the permission to do anything you want to. That doesn't really happen in civilized society. But what we're looking for is a level playing field, so to speak, regardless of what kind of land use regulation happens to apply to your residents. And we've been having very good success in the current session of Congress. And just yesterday, Friday, the legislation was introduced in the United States Senate.
That's good.
And it's been in the House of Representatives for some months now, and doing very well. So now we have the legislation in both houses of Congress. We're advocating very hard for it, and ARRL members all over the states are writing to their senators, writing to their members of Congress to say, we want simple fairness, so that regardless of what kind of community you live in, you have a chance to have a functioning antenna. This is very important, and we're very excited at the progress that has been made.
Sounds brilliant. And we have quite a large number of our listeners are from the States, and just the one thing you've told us today, that's the reason why you need to be a member of the ARRL. You're fighting the cause for amateurs, and the nice thing is, the impression I get is that amateur radio is far more acceptable in the States than it is in the UK. You've got a much bigger base of amateurs, and people understand more about our hobby. And I know you have more natural disasters than us, where you guys are out working, but at least we need to keep the profile up, and people do need to join societies like yourself to keep the profile up, because you are working for them.
Yes, and all the national amateur radio societies do that. We are, the ARRL and other national societies do a lot of good things. We have publications, we may foster programs in emergency communications, we have awards, we do a great many things for amateur radio, all the societies do. But the first job of every one of our societies is to advocate for amateur radio.
Yeah.
To our fellow citizens, to our regulatory bodies, to our governmental bodies. We are strong advocates for amateur radio, and we do this through our own national societies. We also do it in cooperation internationally with the International Amateur Radio Union, so that we can work together to achieve good international level regulations at the World Radio Communication Conference. So there are many reasons to join one's national amateur radio society, because even though it may not seem that it's exactly relevant to one's own experience when you go into your shack and you sit down to have some fun, but we need to have spectrum, we need to have antenna privileges so that we can be radio amateurs, and this is what our societies do for us. So we certainly appreciate all the ARRL members, and we appreciate all the people who join their national amateur radio societies wherever they may live in the world.
Yeah, and one quick thing before we close up. If you don't live in the US, joining the ARRL, there are your magazine and your technical information and your books are well worth a look.
Well, thank you.
They are. They're well. It's worth joining if you're outside the US, even for that.
Yes, and of course one service we can do now is to provide QST in electronic form. For many years it was very difficult to provide satisfactory delivery of QST magazine through the post. And now that we can offer electronic delivery, you get your magazine at the same time as everybody else. It isn't all torn to pieces. And so many people who live outside the States have found that to be a good option for getting their QST. And,
works very well.
Works out very well for everybody.
Well, listen, I know you're a very, very busy lady and you've got lots to do. Thank you very, very much for coming and talking to us, and may we wish you a lot of success at the show here and in future.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to chat with you today, Martin.
Thank you, Kay.
Thank you. 73.